Do you feel like you're trapped between your 9 to 5 and your side hustle, like there aren't enough hours in the day? Well, what if I told you that working more hours isn't the answer? Let's talk about a game-changing book, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And I'm not just going to summarize it. We're breaking down exactly how you can apply these principles when you're starting small, working with limited resources, and building around a full-time job. Now, let's get something straight right away. This isn't about getting rich overnight, quitting your job tomorrow, or investing thousands in fancy automation. This is about building smart systems that eventually give you more freedom and income. And yes, you can do this while working your regular job. The core of the book is something called the deal framework. Let's break each part down in a way that makes sense for side hustlers like us. D is the first part. It stands for definition. This is where most of us get it wrong according to Ferriss. We just jump right into a side hustle without knowing exactly what we really want. Here's what Ferriss suggests, but with a side hustle twist. Start with 3 simple questions. 1, what will make your current life 20% better? Maybe it's having your Sundays completely free, or never missing your kids' extracurricular activities, or having an extra $1,000 a month for savings. Number 2, what small freedom would change your daily happiness? What would that be? This could be as simple as not checking your emails after 6 if you have a job where you have to work after hours, or having time for morning workouts, or just being able to take a random Wednesday off. Who wouldn't want that, right? Third, what's your actual target monthly income? Not what the gurus tell you to want, not what Instagram says you should have, but what would genuinely change your life right now. That's the number that you need. So I want you to pause this video just for a minute right now and write down your answer. This exercise alone can completely change how you approach your business or your side hustle. Next up is elimination, and this is where things get interesting for side hustlers. Time is our sacredest resource. We all know it, right? We're already juggling a full-time job, a family, trying to build something on the side. Ferriss talks about the 80-20 rule, but let's make it super practical for side hustlers. So you're gonna pull out your phone right now and look at how you spend time. Like, how do you spend your time last week? Which activities actually made you money, and what tasks did you do just because you thought you should? I am guilty of that. How much time did you spend on social media versus actually creating or selling something? So the reality check is most side hustles spend 80% of their time on things that do not move the needle. And I'll give you an example. You're always perfectly designing your logo or endlessly tweaking your website. I mean, literally, it seems like you just keep putting things off because of your website. Or you're posting on every social media platform when you should just be targeting a few and trying to please clients that really will never do business with you in the first place. Instead, here's what you should focus on. Number 1, client acquisition. What actually brings in customers? 2nd, product and service delivery. What makes them happy and keep coming back? 3rd, you want to build out a system. What will make those 2 things easier? Everything else is just noise. Now let's talk about automation. I could already hear some of you saying, but I can't afford fancy automation tools. Well, here's where it gets a little good. I'm going to share Ferriss's suggestions, but with a 0 budget twist. Start with what's free. Google Calendar for scheduling, Google Forms for client intake, and Gmail templates for common responses are amazing. And the Google Docs are just phenomenal, and Sheets, and it's all free. So you don't need a Microsoft Office package subscription to do it. You could do everything with Google. Before I move on, I want to share this 12-month success blueprint planner. I made a free digital download at the beginning of the year of 2025, and I realized if you're like me, so many people start businesses or projects. It could be April, it could be August. Everything is not at the beginning of the year, the new year on January 1st. So what I love about this is that it's just 12 months. You put the month in, it breaks each week down with weekly reviews, quarterly reviews, and it just helps you keep on track. And I love that you can write it down and refer to it. So I'm gonna leave the link in the description below if you wanna check it out. Now let me show you exactly how automation can work. Let's say you're a social media manager on the side, right? Instead of writing each caption from scratch, creating new designs every time, and responding to each inquiry individually, you could just create 30 caption templates and design 10 things in Canva for free. And you could also have canned responses ready for inquiries that are repetitive and you know that they come up a lot. So here's your 3-step process for starting automation. Number 1, track everything for 1 week, just 1 week. And what did you do repeatedly? Ask yourself, how many times do you answer the same questions and what tasks suck up your time? Number 2, you're going to create your first template and start with just one thing, like either a client welcome packet, a project checklist, or a fact document. I know a lot of people, they have a lot of facts on their website to answer questions. You can just work on that. And then once you have all that down, test it out and see what works for you, what doesn't. And then once you set that up, just adjust as needed, and then you have that system on rinse and repeat. Here's something that's a little bit exciting. It's called the liberation part. And let's be real what that means for side hustlers. Liberation is not about sipping cocktails on a beach, even though I would love to, or never working again, or running your business from your phone. Real liberation for most side hustles means having some kind of system that works while you're at your day job, right? Not feeling guilty about taking off on the weekends, and being able to grow without working more hours. I think that feels like true liberation. So here's your roadmap to liberation. Step 1, set boundaries, specific work hours for your side hustle, and be clear about communicating with your client. Dedicated business emails, you want to have that in place. Step 2, create client expectations and set it up to be realistic, and give a realistic response time if you have that kind of business where you get a lot of questions. You want to make sure you communicate the expectations for your client. That way, you're not going outside of your boundaries when you have specific work time. Step 3, build your freedom system, one automated task at a time, one template at a time, one SOP at a time. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, because I did, but my clients need me available 24/7, but do they really, or have we just trained them to expect that? I can't automate my creative work. You can't automate the creative part, but you can automate everything around it. I don't have time to set up systems is another one. Well, you don't have time not to set up a system. Now it's time to implement all of this, and here's a sample action plan for this week. So today, choose one task to template. Then tomorrow, spend 30 minutes creating that template. The day after and the rest of the week, just test it out. Test it with your clients, test it with your products, and refine it. And once you have it down, just rinse and repeat and keep at it until you hit your goal. Building a side hustle while working a full-time job is not easy, but it's not about working more hours. It's really about working smarter hours. And if you want to dive deeper into this concept, I highly recommend getting the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. The link is in the description below. It's not an affiliate link. But even if you just implement, say, 20% of what's in that book, it could completely change your approach to your side hustle. Now, I want to hear from you. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know if you think it's a bunch of fluff and BS and there's no way you can work for 4 hours a week. But you know what? Even if you don't start out there, I think the goal is to maybe get there depending on the kind of business you have. So anyway, let me know. I'd love to hear your comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.